Hello, thanks for tuning in. Here we are, part 3 of this beautiful Ernie Ball Music Man Luke 3. Everything is done except the setup, so push is all in and working fine. Matter of fact, I just had to reinstall that. If you watched the last video, the part that Ernie Ball sent had a PCB for a left-handed guitar, so everything worked when I hooked it up, but it worked in reverse. So I just reswapped it. There was no reason to film that again. So what we're going to do today is change these strings and set the guitar up. I don't think it needs much, and that's it. Now there are a couple of these frets that have a couple small dents in them. Generally speaking, when I do a setup, I don't dress frets much. I mean, I'll fix like a little one if it needs it, but this is my friend. I'm going to go ahead and polish these frets because they need it, and I'm going to condition this fretboard too. So first things first, let's actually I don't think I need to cut these. It has a locking tuners, it should slip right out. Well, let me get these strings off. Okay. Strings are off. First thing I want to do is make sure that this neck is flat. It looks to be. Yeah, it's right on. Okay. Good deal. Now what I want to do is I just want to check these frets. So this one's high. I thought it might have some high frets just when I was playing around with it. I'm just going to file these as I go. Let me, while I'm thinking about it, since I'm going to be filing and I'm also going to be using some 4/0 steel wool, I'm going to cover these pickups. Anytime you're going to file frets or polish them or anything, I always suggest covering your pickups. Because, you know, they're magnets and they will pick anything that's metal up. Pickups, pick up. That's a bad dad joke, I guess. So this guitar is beautiful and it plays, I mean, from just, you know, when I was messing around with it, it already plays really well. My 2 cents, they're expensive guitars. The PCBs drive me nuts. I just don't like them, but they have a unique and a very good sound, so I get it. But one thing that bothers me about something that costs this much is, well, A, the fact that it seems like it's commonplace for these push-push switches to go out, and I don't think a guitar that costs this much should have a common problem like that. But, you know, that can happen, don't get me wrong. The next thing is that, to be honest, like the back plates and stuff they're not recessed, and I don't know, just for that kind of money, I feel like they should be. Again, just me. All right, let's see how that is. Almost there. And I don't know, you know, this is not super high. It probably wouldn't affect playability a whole lot. I'm a bit of a perfectionist though, so I would like to get it. There we go. As nice as possible. And again, especially since it is my friend. You know what? I think that just needs to be tapped down. Sorry, Dusty. That happens a lot, actually, from weather and stuff. Yeah, I took care of that. And, you know, even new guitars can have high frets from weather changes and shipping, etc. And I don't really know how old this guitar is. I know it's not the newest model. So, and I believe he got it used. But it doesn't look like it's been like overly played. I mean, it's really clean. I mean, it could use to be polished, but I mean, as far as there's not a lot of dents and stuff, there's one little area right there and one back here that's kind of big, but not much. All right, so that's pretty good. These couple dents may come out when I polish them. That's what I'm hoping. So let's just go ahead and polish the frets and see if it gets it out. If not, I mean, they're not terrible. I don't think it's worth doing a fret. I don't think it needs a fret releveling, etc. That's, you know, it's not that bad. So what I'm going to do is just go through with my 4/0 steel wool and polish these all up, so they'll feel really good when you make, you know, bends and stuff. You guys have seen me do this before, I know. So I use these guards. I don't tape it up. Just a tiny bit of steel wool. There. I mean, that's a huge difference. I don't know if you can really see it in the camera, but I'm going to go through and I'm going to get all of these frets. And then we're going to condition the fretboard because it looks really dry. But yeah, it wasn't too bad. One high fret that I had a file, and then, well, two high frets. The other one I was able to tap down. Now, normally, like I say, on just a regular setup, I wouldn't do all this, but Todd's a good friend of mine, so I want to make this as nice as I can for him. There's no reason for you to watch me do all these. I'll be right back. All right. So yeah, those frets look excellent. Let me wipe them off here. Now, generally, what I do, just to keep my workspace from being contaminated with any metal shavings, I go ahead and vacuum. A little loud if you have headphones on, especially. Sorry. All right, and there's almost no shavings with this. I mean, it was a quick polish. Nothing like having a small vacuum though when you're working on guitars. All right, so this can come off now. And this case you're wondering, most people know this is just painter's tape. Works great for doing things like this. It will not harm the finish of any guitar. Stays on nicely, but it comes right off. Let's see what the radius is. Looks like maybe a 10 or a 12. Yeah, 12-inch radius. We're not far off. I don't think it's going to need much of a setup. I don't know what the intonation's like, but we'll check that out. All right, so let's go ahead and condition this board because it is dry. Use my favorite stuff here, Fretboard 65 from Dunlop. This is something I honestly, which I think I've mentioned in other videos, I never use stuff like this. I always use mineral oil. Mineral oil works great, and you can get it anywhere. There's nothing wrong with using that. My buddy gave me this, though, and it has lasted forever, and it works great. And it smells really good. But just going to get it all over there. I generally hydrate rosewood and ebony boards. Yeah, at least here I'm in Louisville, Kentucky. Like, I usually do my guitars once a year or so. When I do a string change, I'll go ahead and take off all the strings and hydrate. But you just do it as needed. You don't want to hydrate maple. You just clean that. It doesn't need it. But the good thing about rosewood, this is rosewood, 99% sure anyway, is it'll only soak up what it needs. So I usually let it sit on here for, well, it depends on how dry it is. This is kind of dry, so I'll probably let it sit here for 5 to 10 minutes. And then I'll just wipe off the excess. All right, there's no reason for you to watch me do all this. All right, while that is soaking in, I'm just going to go ahead and give this a quick little cleaning. Just going to use part of an old t-shirt, always kind of my favorite. And again, it's not this really, he didn't bring it to me very dirty, which is nice. Some guitars I get are gross. I mean, sometimes I just clean them before I even touch them because I don't want to touch them. I'm not doing a big major cleaning here, just wiping it down. And again, I'm using this Dunlop. This is the 65. This stuff's lasted forever too. It's just a guitar polish, and it does a really good job. I don't deep clean my guitars and stuff too often. I just wipe them down. I put a little bit on the rag and wipe them down for the most part. It depends though. When I got my Les Paul Tribute, which is a satin finish, it's a tobacco sunburst. I really like that tobacco sunburst. I like the top a lot, and I love the satin finish on it, but I wanted to kind of bring that top up into a semi-gloss. So I used some of that Meguiar's Scratch X on that, and man, that worked well, and it brought that top out nicely. But like I say, normally, I don't deep clean too many things. I keep everything wiped down though. Alright, that's all I'm going to do there. Headstock a little. Like I say, we're just going to let this soak in for a few minutes. And then we're going to put strings on it. And then set the intonation and the action. He is using Ernie Ball custom gauge strings. I think they're 10 to 42. So, makes sense? Ernie Ball guitar. Use the Ernie Ball strings. But yeah, this is a gorgeous guitar. It really is. Beautiful top. I like the figuring. Has the push pot. I'm not a big fan of those, especially since they're prone to failing. But it is neat the way they work. 5-way switch. I don't know what the switch does completely, to be honest. I just know it works, and I'll probably play around with it a little after we get it all set up. All right, so that's probably just about soaked in. I'm going to let it soak in for a couple more minutes, and then we'll come back here and we'll go ahead and wipe it off. Okay, I think that's soaked in enough. It took a lot of this, so again, it was pretty dry looking. And all I'm doing is taking a microfiber cloth and wiping off the excess. Man, stuff smells good though. Frets look nice. What a difference. Yeah, sometimes you don't realize how dull frets can look till you polish them a little. Oh yeah, fretboard looks really nice too. It needed that. It's gonna feel good when you play it. All right, so honestly, I don't think it's gonna need much. Let's go ahead and put strings on it, and then we'll check the action and set the intonation and check the pickup height. To be honest, so these are 9 to 42s. I apologize. It all looks like it's pretty close. I mean, I played it before I did anything, and it didn't feel bad. You know, some of that's preference, of course. Everybody likes their guitar a different way. I try to get the action as low as I can without it causing any issues. But you know, I do whatever the customer wants. Of course, some people like their action higher. If you get it too high, you're going to bend stuff out of key and all. But if you play really hard, you may want it a little higher. Or if you tune really low, I believe he just keeps this tune standard. So I'm going to set it up for standard. But generally, I'll set it up so that it works fine standard. But you could go to a half step or even a whole step down. So, I don't know if you can see here. Slide this down. So these are locking tuners. So normally, you know, I wouldn't do it like this, but since they are locking tuners, I can go ahead and cut them as we go, which seems weird. Seems weird to me. If my old eyes can get to, there we go. So generally speaking, I don't cut the strings until everything is done to make sure, but in this instance, I don't see any reason to wait. So I'm just going to tighten this up. Oops. And yeah, should be on you. All right. So that's what we'll do. We'll cut as we go. Okay. So this does have a trim. It has the Ernie Ball trim. It's a 2-point trim. Nice looking trim. So anyway, there's no reason for you to watch me put all these on. I'll be right back. I'll get these on. Okay, I'm on the last string here. I have to say this this trim does have a nice heavy brass block. I like that. I'm not much of a trim person myself, but I do like the Fender style trims because as a bridge, I think they work great. I block mine a lot, although my Strat I do keep floating, just so I have one, and then I have a trim on my Kramer, my Beretta. I don't like the Floyd Rose much, but you know, regular Fender style isn't too bad. But I am definitely not a Floyd Rose person. I'm tightening this up. Make sure we're where we need to be. Go ahead and cut it again. Just feels weird cutting these strings so soon. But I mean, that's the good thing about locking tuners. It's quick. So I'm going to let's see here. I'm going to tune this up, and then we're just going to kind of, check the playability and stuff. I'm going to tune it to standard. But the neck was nice and flat, so I think it'll have just the right amount of relief when we get it all tuned up. We'll find out though. There we go. All right, that's pretty close. Let's stretch these strings a little. I usually just grab them like this and tug on them some. You can also just tune it like a half step higher and let it sit for a moment. But this generally works pretty well. Then we'll retune, and we're going to check the radius and make sure that we're lined up. And I adjusted when I had this on pause. I adjusted the saddles just a little, just by eye. I think it's pretty close to where we want it. Okay, so let's I think we said we had a 12-inch radius. So I'm going to use my my gauges here. And to be honest, most of my setup work I do by feel, but I like to do this just to see. Yeah, I eyed that up pretty well. Let's see if I can slide this under here. And one thing you can do is if you get this under the bridge like that, it should deaden each string. Boom, that's what you want. That is what you want. So now, getting it out without scratching anything. So that's right on. I think that action's pretty. Again, I just eyed it up. I think that's pretty good. Let's check the intonation. And then for those of you who don't know, let me pull you in a little bit better. What you want to do when you're checking intonation is get it in tune. It's right on, and then check it on the 12th fret. So this is just a little bit out. You can see it's a little flat. Not much though. Hang on. Oops. If I can pluck it the right way, we'll be set. Actually, that's good. That's less than a cent. Okay. A. So that one definitely needs to be adjusted just a little. And there's a screw back here. And it'll adjust it this way or that way. So what I do first is take the tension off. And that's a little flat, so. Let's tune it back up. It's right on. Right on. So it was flat, so we just, generally speaking, wherever the needle is, if the needle is going towards the left of center, you're going to move the saddle that way. If it's going to the right of center, you're going to move the saddle that way. That's right on. That one's on. Yep. All right. That's right on too. Let's see here. All right, I don't feel any buzzing. Yeah, I think that feels pretty good. So again, I just eyed this up, and that's pretty darn close. I might. You know what? I don't think I'm going to do anything with it. I think I got it about where I want it. All right, so that's it. That's it for this episode. Thanks a whole lot for tuning in. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. Let's take another good look at this this gorgeous guitar. All right, I'm going to call my friend and let him know this is ready to pick up. I'll probably plug it in and play it for a little while too because I like it. But anyway, please tell your friends, share, like, subscribe. Listen to Rifle every day. Rock on and love one another.